wants to coach Mbappe, Barca prioritised Fati deal, the Nations League has its finalists, Upamecano interests EPL rivals, and a news roundup all coming up in the next few minutes. As I am your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. First up, and apparently Jurgen Klopp is very interested in coaching Kylian Mbappe, which surely will send Liverpool fans into an absolute frenzy. Having said that, I'm not so sure we will see the French striker join the Anfield club over the next couple of transfer windows. Basically, I think that Liverpool have got the attraction at the moment. They've got a fantastic team. They've got brilliant players. They've got the best, one of, if not the best, manager in the world. And Mbappe would surely want to play for a team like that. The flip side is that he would cost upwards of 180 million, and if PSG go ahead and secure a new contract from Mbappe, he's probably going to cost even more. Liverpool do have a lot of money behind them, but they don't necessarily spend so much on one player. They do spend large quantities of money. It's just a bit on a player here, a little bit on a player there. Maybe they'll break their transfer record. At the current minute, Virgil van Dijk is the transfer record for Liverpool at £75 million. So to go ahead and double that, maybe even triple it, doesn't really seem like a Liverpool thing to do. On top of this, Real Madrid look to be the front runners and have been for quite a long time in the signature of Kylian Mbappe. But don't fear Jurgen Klopp. If you really want to coach Kylian Mbappe, he could just move to Real Madrid. I know that sounds a bit ridiculous, but if it comes down to two choices, Mbappe moving to Liverpool or Klopp moving to Real Madrid, assuming that Mbappe moves there as well, I think the Klopp moving to Real Madrid is a little bit more realistic. Maybe not at the moment because Zidane's doing a fine job, but you know how things are at Madrid. One bad season and more than likely Florentino Perez sacks the coach. So if Real Madrid have a bad campaign, if Zidane is out the door, and with Jurgen Klopp saying he's going to leave Liverpool at the end of his contract, who knows, maybe this could be a thing in the future. Next up though, and talking of Real Madrid and actually their greatest rivals, Barcelona, who are prioritising a new deal for Ansu Fati. You thought I was going to say Lionel Messi. Well, not if you heard the intro. Anyway, apparently the winger has a contract until 2022 in the club, and the player and his agent are in a little bit of a disagreement. The contract runs until 2022, like I said, but the club believe that they've got another 2-year extension which they can trigger to 2024, but Ansu Fati's team obviously don't feel the same. They think the contract ends in 2022, that is it, full stop, done. The guy can leave. That would present a very, very big problem to Barcelona. That would literally mean them losing the likes of Messi and Fati potentially within the same summer, or at least within the space around 12 to 18 months. Obviously, they're very keen for this to not happen. And one of the presidents-elect at the moment has said that Fati and a new deal for him should be prioritised to at least 2026. Damn, you imagine how much he's going to be on with a brand new 5.5-year deal on the cards. At the moment, he's one of the lowest paid members in the squad because, let's not forget, he is still just a baby in terms of footballing years. Having said that, his contribution has been absolutely key to the side, so his team are definitely hoping for a massive pay rise, which reflects that. Of all the players of Barcelona who they should be tying down for the long-term future, surely Ansu Fati's top on the list. Like, yes, they've got other good youngsters, and I'm sure you'll say there are other key elements of the Barcelona squad who are really important for the future of the club, but surely none more so than Fati. Next up then, and to the UEFA Nations League, and finally the international break is over, so I'll keep this one short. England ended their campaign with Phil Foden putting on a masterclass with 2 goals over Iceland, but that's not enough to get them through to the final, so who cares what they are doing? It's all about the final 4. Belgium saw off Denmark 4-2, which means they will go into the finals along with Italy, along with Spain, and along with France in what is sure to be a bumper final 4 in October of next year. Of course, the likes of Netherlands aren't there and Portugal aren't there either to defend their title, but as far as things go, on current form, I think those are the best 4 teams in the world at the moment. I mean, certainly they are in Europe. That's why they're in the final 4. Alongside this, and just a quick note on that Belgium-Denmark game, if you're a fan of Thibaut Courtois, do not watch the highlights. Whatever you do not watch the highlights because he had an absolute shocker, and I'm sure Real Madrid fans will be hoping he doesn't take that form into their game at the weekend. International break is over then. Let's move back to a bit of regular club football, and apparently Diet Upamecano is interested in the likes of Liverpool and Manchester United, and Leipzig are willing to sell him. He had a contract expiring in the summer of 2021, so the club renewed for another year, basically because they didn't want to lose him on a free. It wasn't necessarily about him extending his time at the club into the long-term future. This apparently does involve a £40 million release clause, which only becomes active in the summer. However, Leipzig may be tempted to sell him in January if they just want to get him off their books in the first place. They've got quite a few other defensive options. Obviously, Upamecano is a big part of the defence and a very good player. But if they can get rid of him sooner rather than later for a similar amount of money, maybe just a little bit more money than that £40 million release clause, they're going to go ahead and do it. And of course, Liverpool and Manchester United are said to be interested. Now, I say reportedly because no one actually knows whether they're interested. They're just two big Premier League teams with big money and, more importantly, big defensive issues. We haven't got a whole separate video to go into Manchester United's defensive issues, and on Liverpool's side, we all know about their injuries, so it would make sense. Not only would it make sense to cover them or improve them straight away, but looking into the future, he could go on to be a great centre-back for years. Seems like a pretty good deal for just £40 million. Finally then, we come on to a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where legendary striker Samuel Eto'o, who retired over a year ago, is in talks with Spanish third division side Racing de Murcia about a return to professional football. Elsewhere, and Sevilla and Hertha Berlin are interested in taking PSG midfielder Julian Draxler, who barely gets any minutes on the pitch at the moment. Porto wants to bring back former player Hulk from Shanghai SIPG. And lastly but not least, Eduardo Camavinga has said that he would love to make a huge move to a dream club of his, but has not ruled out extending his contract at current Club Rennes. That's all from me then. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you click here or here to check out all the other videos we've got going on OneFootball. And until next time, I will see you guys later.